to my whole food plant-based kitchen. I thought it'd be so much fun to get you guys back in here, but this time we're going to be making something sweet. Something sweet using frozen bananas. That's right, we're gonna do frozen bananas 3 ways. I am all about using the most nutrient-dense ingredients that you can get your hands on. So this recipe will be completely whole food plant-based, therefore there will be no oil, no refined sugar, and no refined flour in the entire recipe. In fact, all 3 of the recipes. So you guys, get ready for it, come in the kitchen with me, roll up your sleeves, and let's have some fun. But hey, I have to warn you, things might get a little bit bananas around here. Okay, so first we're gonna be making some delicious, aromatic, beautiful banana bread. But you guys, as you know, we're not gonna be using any refined sugar. So instead, we are going to be using these gorgeous, delicious, gooey medjool dates. I love medjool dates because of their nutrient densities. These are the perfect sugar substitute because they are filled with fiber, micronutrients, bioflavonoids, and antioxidants. So to begin, I usually like to start with my flax eggs. I have a recipe for this on my website if you need more details on how to create this, but basically it's ground flaxseed and some filtered water. So I'll put this in now and I will let it sit on the side. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. And once it sits for a little bit, you'll see that it starts thickening up, and that will be the perfect consistency for the recipe. Okay, so now I'm going to take my dry ingredients and put them all in one bowl and mix them all together. So here I'm using quinoa flour, oat flour, as well as brown rice flour. I love mixing flours because they give you more nutrients in that I'm diversifying my ingredients. Other flours I'd really like to use for this recipe are nut flour, such as almond flour, cashew flour, walnut flour. If you can't find those types of flours and you'd still like to use a nut-based flour for the recipe, you just take the whole nuts, grind them up in your food processor, and you're good to go that way. So I'm gonna put this all into my bowl. There's about a half a cup of each of the 3 flours that I mentioned in here. And now I'm going to take about a teaspoon of baking soda and put that in my bowl. And now I have this gorgeous vanilla bean. But you might be wondering why it's white. Well, I actually like to mix it with buckwheat because it makes it go much further. Vanilla bean is really hard to come by, and a secret I have to make it go further is to mix it in with a whole grain, such as buckwheat flour. And I'm gonna take about a teaspoon or half a teaspoon or so of my vanilla bean powder. And this, guys, like I mentioned, has the buckwheat flour in it. Then I'm going to take my pinch of sea salt, just a pinch, and I like to use the gray Celtic sea salt because it's unrefined. And I'm gonna mix all of that until it's well combined. And next, we have one of my most favorite ingredients of all, these organic, delicious, and gooey medjool dates. They are the perfect addition to any single recipe that requires sugar. That's right, these are the best sugar substitutes for any recipe virtually. I love them not only because they're so delicious, but extremely nutritious. They're high in bioflavonoids and polyphenols, antioxidants, and best of all, fiber. They're not good only for you, but also for your microbiome. I'm going to take a cup of these gorgeous medjool dates and I'm gonna put it in a food processor. So let's get all of that in there. And into this, I'm also gonna put in a little bit of filtered water and process it a little bit so that it gets into a date paste consistency. Caramel brown date paste. So now we're gonna add our frozen bananas to this. Set this over here, add our frozen bananas. And for both this recipe, I'm gonna use about 4 frozen bananas. The trick here though, you guys, is that since I use the frozen bananas, I don't wanna use this water, the water that when it thaws out, it leaves a little bit of this residual water. You don't really wanna use that. So that's it, got these in here and now I'm gonna process this as well. It's incredible to use as a substitute for butter, and it makes the banana bread super gooey and much more moist otherwise. Okay, so I've got the frozen bananas, I've got my dates, my date paste, and now I'm gonna add in my applesauce, my unsweetened applesauce into the mix, like so. I'm gonna scrape it out a little bit. All of that in there. Love that. Oh, it's not starting to smell so good. I love it. Okay, and now it's time to add in the flax eggs. Okay, so it's about 2 flax eggs. I'm gonna put that in there. And you guys, now would be a great time to start turning on your oven to around 350 degrees. Okay, so this is pretty well processed. And now I love to put in Ceylon cinnamon into my banana bread. This is gorgeous, brown, rich, extremely aromatic spice. It is delicious, and the reason why I love using this so much more than cassia cinnamon is that it does not have the hepatotoxic effects like cassia cinnamon does. So now would be a really good time, and really, I say put in as much as your heart desires, because I personally love a lot of cinnamon. So I will probably do, let's say maybe 2 tablespoons of Ceylon cinnamon. I'm just gonna process all of this, and I will mix the wet ingredients with my dry ingredients. Okay, smell test. Smells amazing. So I have my dry ingredients now, and I'm gonna put these wet ingredients in here. So, scoop all of it in. Don't miss any drop. This stuff looks amazing. You know what? It's actually good enough to just eat right now. I say. Okay, so I'm mixing all of my ingredients really well, because that's what you do. And it looks really good. And of course, I'm going to add some walnuts into this for a little bit of crunch factor. Of course, some people like their banana bread with chocolate, and you could do that. You can also add cacao nibs, which for people who maybe don't know what that is, it's ground up cacao beans. Actually have some here. I might add a few of those in. But if you don't like that, that's totally fine. You do you. That's the whole point of recipes, right? Personalize them and make them into your own masterpieces. So this looks pretty well combined now. And for a dose of your omega-3s, yes, these gorgeous organic walnuts. And you can crush them ahead of time. You can even process them in your food processor. Depends on how fine you like your walnuts. I like a big crunch in mine, so I don't really process them as much. And I just really like to break them up with my hands. So that's about a cup, maybe a little less than a cup of walnuts. I'm gonna mix this in, and I'm gonna get it into my pan, which is ready with parchment paper for the oven. Okay. One secret I have for you guys, if you want a fluffier banana bread or banana loaf, you guys have to try a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Yes, it will make your loaf that much more fluffy. So put in literally a splash. It's about, I would say, a teaspoon or so. Trust me, it will make a difference. Okay, so now for the final step, placing this amazing batter into a loaf pan that is lined with parchment paper. All right, I got it all in this loaf pan, and it looks great. It smells really good, and I actually tasted it off camera, so you guys, it's delicious. I can vouch for this one. And I'm just gonna use a little spatula. I like to just smooth off the top a little bit just to give it a nicer look. Not necessary, but it's good. All right, so we're ready to go and put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 50 minutes to maybe 60 minutes. This is recipe number 1, using frozen bananas to make banana bread at hand anytime you need it. I know some people like me, sometimes when I have rotten bananas laying around, I might not want to make a banana bread or banana loaf at that moment. So best thing, throw it in the freezer and make one when you feel like it. Although you guys, have to say, you might want to be making this one when we're done. Next, we're going to be doing banana nice cream. But it is going to be not nice cream today, you guys. It's going to be nicer cream. Why? Because this time we're going to do bananas with dates and we're going to make it chocolatey. It is going to be incredible. That's right. I'm going to use these frozen bananas, process them a bit, and then we're going to add all of our other ingredients into them. So here we go. I put in about 3 to 4 frozen bananas, super ripe again, and I'm going to pulse it first and then I'm going to blend it. Just a little heads up here, you want the frozen bananas pulled out of your freezer almost right before you're ready to serve. You don't want these thawed out fully or else it won't have that consistency that you want, that you would get from regular ice cream. So I pulsed it a bunch and now I'm going to add in this gorgeous, super rich, antioxidant rich cacao powder, not cocoa powder, but cacao powder. So I'm going to add that into the food processor. And I will add in maybe about 2 or so tablespoons of that and process this again. And now I'm going to add in my medjool dates. I actually recommend chopping these up before you start making this, so I'm going to quickly do this right now into bite-sized pieces. Even though the processor will mix it, you don't want it to process it too much because you want those little chunks in this. For an added crunch in this, I'm going to put some delicious cacao nibs. They're really great. Again, they're cacao beans and they're ground up. And I'm just going to throw that in. It's going to be a very nice texture when you're biting it. Okay, so I have all of my ingredients and now I'm just going to pulse it until it gets super creamy, but not too creamy. Again, you want a little bit of chunks from the dates as well as from the cacao nibs. And then we're ready to serve. And if you thought I wasn't serious about nutrient density, check this out. You can actually top your ice cream off with these amazing hemp seeds. And third, we're going to create banana bread trifle. So excited for this one. We're going to use the first 2 recipes, combine them, and then top it off with a beautiful, sensational, just divine sauce. So let's get going. For the trifle, I start off with making a sauce that we will pour all over the top. So for my sauce, I have this really amazing organic coffee. I definitely always recommend getting organic coffee. And if you're sensitive to caffeine, I have a really amazing coffee substitute for you. It's Mayan seeds, otherwise known as Ramon seeds. And they're roasted like coffee's roasted, but they don't have that effect that caffeine would have. What's really great about these seeds is they have more fiber, more potassium than any other bean or grain. So they're really, really healthy, super nutrient dense, and amazing for this recipe. You'll get that chocolate mixed in with coffee taste and flavor from this, and it'll be beautiful paired with the banana bread and the nicer cream. And on a side note, for those of you who may be looking for the perfect coffee substitute, but just can't seem to find one and have been looking for quite some time, please let me know down below. I'd be so happy to do a whole video for you on various different coffee substitutes that I've tried over the years for the fact that they lack caffeine, obviously, but also for their nutrient profiles and their taste. Let me know. Nutrient dense banana bread trifle. So, using pretty much any glass, I like to see trifles in glass containers or glass type of dishes. For the obvious reason, you guys, a trifle, you want to see the layers. So here we go. I'm gonna first take my nicer cream, take about a scoop of that, put it on the bottom, and then on top of that, I'm going to take a few cubes. I'm gonna cube my banana bread, and I'm gonna take maybe 2, maybe 3 cubes, put it around that nice cream, and then I'm going to top it off with some banana slices. Oh my gosh, you guys, I wish you were here, but if you're not, hopefully you're in your own house making this. It looks amazing. And then I'm going to take my chocolate coffee maca sauce. I'm just gonna give it one last stir, and I'm gonna pour a little bit on this layer. Now, to be honest, you can stop right there and maybe just top it off with some cacao nibs on the top. Or if you are super hungry or want even more dessert, you could do one more layer. So you can do another scoop, or maybe half a scoop this time, of your banana nicer cream. Then take a few more of your banana bread. Okay, you guys, this is insane already, right? Banana bread pieces on top, maybe a few more slices of banana. You guys, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. If you want to impress your company or family, since you probably won't have company for a while, this would be the dessert you should probably try and make for them. I think most people will be in love. Now let's pour some of this syrup on top. It looks amazing. And then, last but not least, one more pinch of your cacao nibs. Oh, you guys, come check this out. This is the banana bread trifle. It's super nutrient dense, and let's do the thing that we always do at the end of a recipe. I'm just gonna use this spoon here and give it a try. I really wish you guys were all here. Now the key is to take a bite out of each and every little layer, right? Let's give it a try. It's so good. You guys need to definitely try this. If you try this recipe, please let me know down below. I would love to get any other recommendations from you as to what other recipes you would like me to do for you. And honestly, please do give this a try. Impress your guest and let me know what you think. Bye guys, thanks so much for having the time in your schedule to be with me in my kitchen.